Welcome to today's live stream. We're going to be talking about $85,000 Bitcoin short squeeze and ANDTA and a few other meme tokens on base we could go ahead and analyze. So before I do go ahead and get started, I do want to go ahead and say I hope all of you have a wonderful day today. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. And as well, if you want to go ahead and leverage trade, go ahead and check out Blofin down below in the description. All the way up to $5,000 in sign-up bonuses, no KYC, which they are a partner. If you use Bybit, very similar, just no KYC. So that's, in my opinion, that's a benefit, right? So we're going to go ahead and look into the charts. Before I do go ahead and before I do go ahead and do that, let me go ahead and double check that we are officially live. For anybody that is in, go ahead and comment down below. It looks like we are. Happy. Thank you. Hope you have a wonderful day today. You're having a good one. So let's go ahead and share this with the community. So give me about 1 second as we go ahead and share this. We got that out the way. Let me go ahead and head over to Discord. Awesome. So let's go ahead and do some technical analysis on Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and start off with the fear and greed chart. Currently right now, the fear and greed at 72. So last week we were at 57, which was greed. We are seeing greed go up. So that definitely means there's some interest in people believing that Bitcoin is going to go up even higher, right? Keep in mind, this is a fear and greed chart solely on Bitcoin, not the overall crypto market, all right? So let's go ahead and look into what the overall market did today. So overall right now, at the time of the recording, we do see a little bit more neutral. We do see a few tokens that did take off, such as HBAR up over 84%. We have Bonk 28%, AKT 32%. So we do see a few of these tokens that were probably lacking behind these last couple weeks or days that are finally now coming back up, right? But overall right now, I do believe that this is a buy and a dip opportunity for that little red that you see in the market. Nothing too crazy to be panicking about. At the 1 hourly, we do see a lot of these tokens now either reversing or are at neutral levels. So let's go ahead and pull out my live stream on my phone that way so I can go ahead and read comments when they do start to come in. So give me 1 second. Awesome. So let's go ahead and do that. Phone's up and running to read comments. So let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin and the possibilities of $85,000, right? So looking at the charts right here, I did kind of change up the style of my charts a little bit. Just got kind of tired of that red, and psychologically it is the red really screws with your mind, right? So I've been kind of like changing the colors now. So just keep in mind that the purple ones are supposed to be red candles, and obviously the green ones are still green. So I just want to go ahead and change the colors on that. But right now, looking at Bitcoin on the weekly, looks still pretty bullish in my opinion. We are holding this area of support, or what seems to be an area of support, pretty nicely so far. We have gone as low as testing $59,000. As long as we stay within this range, we should be bullish, right? I do believe Bitcoin will go ahead and break to $85,000 and then come back down within the ranges of around $46,000 to $42,000, right? So let's go into the smaller time frames. Looking at the daily right now, we do still see this consolidation. Nothing too major to worry about or to panic about. It does actually look pretty neutral right now for the day. Obviously, the day hasn't ended, but in my opinion, as I mentioned, if we were to go ahead and look into the smaller time frames, we do see some inverse head and shoulders correlation actually happening, and I'm going to go ahead and point that out for you. It's I believe it's somewhere over here. Let me see. Let me zoom out a little bit. I think it starts right here. Yeah. So this is the inverse head and shoulders correlation that we have right here, unless you consider it like this. But this is a very similar run up that we had back over here within this range when we saw Bitcoin within these zones right here. This is during the ETF talk, and which is really interesting, right? I saw Bitcoin Senses actually talk about this. I believe it was either today or yesterday. Let me go ahead and try to pull out the chart if I could find it. Okay, I think it might have been this one right here. No, it wasn't this post. This is a pretty good post too, but we'll go back to that in a bit. Could have sworn I saw it somewhere. Is it this one right here? No, it's not that one. Somewhere in here, that freaking chart I want to show you. I don't know where the chart's at. I have to go ahead and look for it. I should probably look for these charts before I go live, man, because I'm over here scrolling through all of them. But either way, there's this other chart that I think is pretty good that I saw a post by Rec Capital. As you see right here, this is a 2016 zone where Bitcoin did take off, and then this is 2020 where that massive ran up happened as well. And this is where we're currently at right now with Bitcoin. So we could go ahead and see some sort of accumulation zone before we have a massive breakout to the upside. But that is more of a longer term time frame on that chart right there. There's another chart that I wanted to go ahead and show you that I do believe kind of goes with the narrative of what we're talking about. Alazeth, I believe is his name, is a source. Reaccumulation coming to an end. So if you actually go ahead and look at this chart, this is literally where we're at right now with this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and he's also predicting that Bitcoin will go ahead and run up. His price target looks like it's around $90,000. I don't think we might go that far. I think it's a possibility. I do believe $85,000 Bitcoin is possible, but this tells you as well right here on this chart where this fake out happens with this accumulation, the last accumulation before we have a massive breakout to the upside, right? And that's what I believe Bitcoin is going to happen. As I mentioned, this is literally the same exact pattern that we're looking at. I wish I was able to pull out that chart where someone pointed out the same thing when they're like, dude, look at this. It's literally the same exact thing as we had during this initial run up with the ETF talks, right? And it's the same thing right here, inverse head and shoulders pattern with the breakout because of a liquidity grab. And this is exactly where we're at right now within the zone. And this is the reason why I believe we will be touching $85,000 Bitcoin, right? Let me go ahead and get rid of these lines real quick. And we're going to go ahead and look at this very, very closely, right? So this is where our liquidation zone of a lot of money being liquidated is going to be at. It's actually right here within this range where a lot of liquidations will go ahead and happen, right? So let's go ahead and highlight that. Let's see if we could do something a little bit brighter. Maybe hot pink. No. Dude, it's like these colors are not even bright enough. They all look the same. What the heck? I guess we'll just do it like this. We'll just leave it like this. But this is the range right here where a lot of liquidations will go ahead and happen. If we actually go ahead and look at the liquidation map right here on the weekly, we do see 67,407 is a zone where liquidations will go ahead and get triggered, right? So we're looking at about 602 liquidations of leverage longs or shorts are going to go ahead and get liquidated. So that's where a lot of liquidations will go ahead and get triggered, and that's why I believe we could go ahead and be seeing some sort of short squeeze to Bitcoin. And if you actually go ahead and measure that top from where we're at right now, that would take us roughly around a 1.16% move that we need Bitcoin to go ahead and do in order for that short squeeze to be activated, right? So I do believe this is something that's going to happen very similar to what we saw back with the whole entire ETF talks. As I mentioned, that was back over here. It's literally the same exact chart. Like, I don't know how and why anybody will go ahead and deny that. And that's the reason why I'm kind of laughing when I go ahead and see people calling for a $10,000 Bitcoin. Like, it's not going to happen, man. Like, $10,000 Bitcoin's not going to happen. I don't think it ever will. Can it happen? 100%, but I really doubt it. And as soon as these liquidations get triggered by these longs and these shorts get liquidated, we will be seeing some sort of massive short squeeze, pushing us, running us all the way up to $85,000. It's not going to happen initially in one take, right? It's going to be a very similar breakout pattern like we saw right here, where liquidations were around $42,000. And as you can see, within that $42,000 range, we then saw Bitcoin run up about 15%, right? 15 to 18%. And that's what I believe we will be seeing, a very similar move where we see Bitcoin just take off with a 15 to 18% pump and then taking us all the way as high as $85,000, right? As I mentioned, from this bottom and this top, if you measure it, that's not really that exaggerated. That's about a 30% pump, right? So even if we reach within the range of about $87,000 to $89,000 Bitcoin, that's about a 35 to 30% pump, right? Nothing too crazy. I mean, we literally see these kind of pumps in the meme tokens every freaking day. 4x's, 10x's, 20x's, 30x's, right? So it's nothing abnormal for us to go ahead and see that kind of movement when it comes to Bitcoin. And I believe that's why people are in denial, due to the fact that they believe that Bitcoin is at this range where they don't think it's possible for us to hit that, right? $85,000 sounds like it's out the norm, but it's really, really doable and very, very possible, right? It's not overly dramatic. I think thinking about those zones are very, very predictable and really doable for us to go ahead and approach that, right? Another chart I want to go ahead and check out, and I want to show you before we start reading into the comments, because I see a lot of you commenting right now. How's it going, Dabmaster? Hope you're having a good one, bro. Jones, Chicago. How's it going, Chicago? Hope you're having a good one today, bro. Yeah, go ahead and get ready to prepare me with some meme tokens to talk about, right? Because I do want to talk about some meme coins, but I want to go ahead and start off the stream with Bitcoin this way. This gives us a little bit more information about how we could go ahead and navigate with the altcoins and the other meme tokens we have in mind, right? So you always have to go ahead and understand that Bitcoin is really correlated, and so is the stock market, to what our meme coin or altcoin portfolio is going to be like, right? This is what separates us from most shitcoin traders, is that most people just focus on the price movement of today, but don't understand what is going on with the market, right? Bitcoin does have a massive effect into meme tokens and altcoins, and so does the stock market, right? So it's really important for us to understand how these markets move overall. I don't trade Bitcoin every day. I'm not in any Bitcoin trades right now at the moment. I will consider them if we do go ahead and continue with this breakout, right? If we do see a breakout to the upside, I will be longing Bitcoin within these ranges, right? And when we reach the top, I will go ahead and short it. But right now, I'm fully invested in just meme tokens on base, and any meme token or altcoin that you believe in has a huge correlation with the Bitcoin market and the stock market overall, right? So it's really important for us to understand what's going on within these ranges in order for us to have a better, higher probabilities of where our tokens will be going towards, right? Not just guessing that we might think this is going to happen, right? So this is what I saw a post. This is really interesting with Andy from Bitcoin Senses. He says, is this a disbelief rally in the crypto cycle? Are these corrective moves after the pumps we had the last few months a second and last opportunity before things get crazy entering 2025? And for me personally, I do believe so. I think this is a really good chart to go ahead and look at. The psychological chart, the market cycles, and as we see, I do believe we are in disbelief rally. A lot of people think that this is it for Bitcoin. Bitcoin reaches top, we're crashing down to zero, right? I laugh when I hear conversations like that. And what I believe, and what I've talked to a lot of people, such as, you know, Dabmaster, we've had a conversation earlier today. We talked about, I was like, dude, this is the beginning of where money really starts to pour in. Like, this is the point where if you made money on meme tokens, leverage trading, whatever the case is, or you lost money, this is really your last redemption, in my opinion. Is your last redemption to make up for all those losses, to make up for all those opportunities you missed out on the market because you were too scared, right? It is going to look a lot shakier. It is going to, and I believe this is the reason why we are in this disbelief rally, right? So we need to go ahead and stay ahead of the game. That way, when we're exiting a lot of our positions, we're going to be exiting our positions out into retail as exit liquidity, but we need to be informed in order for us to be safe in this market and not to sell too early or to get out too late, right? So I do believe we are in this disbelief rally, and I do believe, in my opinion, Bitcoin will reach over $150,000 in the year of 2025. I don't see it going any higher than that. Could be a possibility we might hit 200,000, but in my opinion, I do not see Bitcoin going. I don't see Bitcoin surpassing $250,000. I think 150 is going to be the top, maybe 180, but let's just say give or take, I don't see Bitcoin going any higher than 250,000. So do not be delusional. Keep that in mind. As I mentioned, it could go to $1 million, but I really freaking doubt it. All right. So that's it with that chart. Now, I want to go ahead and show you back into this Bitcoin chart, right? If we do approach this Bitcoin liquidation zone right here where a lot of shorts will get liquidated, it will be triggered and we will be seeing a massive run up to $85,000, right? So what does that mean for a lot of the meme coins, right? So for a lot of the meme coins, that means typically we would like to see Bitcoin dominance a shift. So the quicker and the fastest Bitcoin doms, the quicker we're going to go ahead and have that altcoin slash meme coin season, right? But typically what we do need is that one last initial pump with Bitcoin to help us out to go ahead and start getting a lot of that last money pouring into our market, right? So if we go ahead and shift over to the DXY, which is the US dollar index, I talked about how important the US dollar is. And typically every time we go ahead and see a reversal on the dollar is when we see the crypto market actually do very well. As I mentioned, my candlesticks as red, they are purple. I did change the colors. So we are seeing right now the dollar getting rejected at these zones at around the 106 as we talked about, right? Same thing with the dollar. We talked about that typically when the dollar starts getting into this overbought or overly interested territory on the RSI, when that strength starts to go up, we typically have some sort of correction as you see. So we do need the dollar to go ahead and come down in order for Bitcoin to go up, right? A weaker dollar means a stronger crypto market. And that's actually the reason why we're seeing crypto doing pretty well so far today. Not too bad is due to the fact that the dollar is falling down, right? So I would like to go ahead and see the dollar continue to fall. Keep in mind, I do believe the dollar will go ahead and probably consolidate within this range for a while. If we go back right here, back in October, when a lot of you started longing positions with me, around October and November, we made a lot of freaking money because we were aware of the dollar, right? We were aware of the DXY. So we don't just predict things. We don't just think things are going to happen because we say so. We have actual facts to back all of our evidence as to where crypto and Bitcoin is going to go in general. And that's how we have a higher edge compared to many people in the market that just guess and think that the market's going to go this direction, right? If you actually go ahead and look at the dollar actually consolidated within this range for about 33 days before it broke to the downside. So I do believe there could be a possibility where we will go ahead and see the dollar maybe consolidate within this range, maybe for about 30 days, maybe 20 days. It doesn't mean it's going to be exact, but even if you measure this with the little squiggly lines that I made, it kind of resembles the 30 days that we have right here, right? So I do believe the dollar might do some sort of movement like this, where we will go ahead and consolidate before we break resistance. And once we break resistance, that's where I believe Bitcoin will go ahead and begin to get hit, and we will see that Bitcoin dominance start to fall, right? So that kind of correlates with the $85,000 Bitcoin prediction that if the dollar does stay within this range for a while before we hit this area of resistance and break above it, we will go ahead and see Bitcoin rise up to that $85,000 range, right? So if the dollar out of nowhere just pumps and breaks out of this resistance, that means that the top of Bitcoin is in right now, and we will be seeing that market shift, right? I do believe overall the dollar will go ahead and reach these ranges of around 140 to 150 on the dollar, which is not good for the market. That's going to be really scary levels to be at. But once we reach these levels and the dollar starts to fall, we will be making a lot of freaking money, right? So overall, the market is giving us really good bullish signs. This is the time to go ahead and fuel a lot more riskier, not financial advice, but this is the time to go ahead and start longing a lot of the positions that you believe in, right? I would be very careful with leverage right now. If you are an active trader, then leverage is the way to go. But be careful with leverage because we have been seeing a lot of liquidity grabs as we have seen with Bitcoin and a lot of the altcoin markets, right? So be very, very careful when it comes to trading leverage right now at the moment. But if you're just looking to go ahead and long positions, I would suggest that this is probably your best time, right? And if you are looking for an exchange with no KYC, check out Blofin, one of my partners. Linked down below in the description. $5,000 in sign-up bonuses. They're just like freaking Bybit, but they don't require any KYC, right? Literally just an email. Takes less than 30 seconds to create an account. plus it does help support the channel, right? So that's what we're seeing right now with the dollar. Looking at the US 100, US 100 is now back at that reversal as we talked about yesterday. The US 100 is very important because this is the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ correlates where Bitcoin's gonna go. And right now it looks like we have finally found the bottom on the US 100. This is the reason why we have now been seeing that shift in the market, right? So if this is the bottom in the market, we should be seeing some sort of reversal by the end of this week towards next week, and we should be seeing more green in the market, right? So we're gonna go ahead and see how the US 100 acts. We're gonna see if this RSI crosses. If we do go ahead and continue to break out, this is gonna be extremely bullish, but if we don't break out of this zone right here and get rejected, we could go ahead and continue to see the US 100 correct, which could be a possibility of crypto going, or Bitcoin specifically, going down as well, right? But I do believe that the stock market is back in action and will be printing green, in my opinion, in the next coming days. So I do believe in the next coming weeks, we're gonna have a very bullish week. The end of this week should be very bullish, and then by next week, we should be reaping a lot of our gains into a lot of these positions that we've have entered, right? So now we're going to go ahead and look into base tokens or any other meme token you want to go ahead and chill. We're going to go ahead and pivot into that, do a little bit of TA, and yeah, that's where we're going to go from there. So stock market, crypto market is looking amazing. Best time to go ahead and have risk on, and it's looking more bullish than ever, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and read some questions right now. So we're going to go ahead and talk about Jones. Dabmaster, if you could go ahead and share the smart contract, that'd be great, man. Share your Discord link, please. It's not in any of your descriptions. Yes, it's all good. All right, for sure, bro. I thought I did have my I do have my Discord link. It's probably not on this video, but it is on, I think it's on one of these videos. I don't know, I gotta check. Let me share the link right now. It's right here. If you click on this link right here, you should be taken to the Discord. There you go. Okay, so let me go ahead and share that. Give me 1 second. By the way, guys, the Discord is completely for free, where I go ahead and post a lot of the positions that I'm going to enter early on before anybody knows. I called a lot of these positions, such as Benny. I called GameStop. I called a few positions in there early on to the community, and it's completely for free, right? So anybody that is in my Discord always gets information first, just because it's quicker for me to go ahead and post that information, right? So let me go ahead and try to post this. Give me 1 second. Kind of having a little bit technical difficulties, but you could go ahead and head over to this video right here on Benny, and you could go scroll down to the description, and you'll definitely will see that here. Let me post it right here. Looks like I got the chat back. This is the Discord, and take advantage of it. It is free. As the community grows, I will go ahead and begin a charge, right? So right now it's completely free, so take advantage of that while you can. And for anybody that joins while the community was free, is going to be able to stay in that community. You know, obviously, as I mentioned, over time, it will be a paid community. So definitely make sure to take advantage of that. But let's go ahead and take a look at Jones on Solana. Alex Jones is a Solana play right now. What I like to go ahead and look at, I like to look at it on Deck Screener. So we're going to go ahead and pivot over to Deck Screener, but before we do that, so far right now in the 4 hourly, it looks like it's holding up pretty well. No complaints on Alex right here. What I will go ahead and say, in order to see a reversal on this, we do need to go ahead and keep in mind on some certain areas, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and head over to Solana, Deck Screener. So if any of you want to show a token that you believe in, go ahead and comment down below in the description. I'll go ahead and do some technical analysis on it if you like, or my input. Just keep in mind that none of this is financial advice, and I'll let you know which projects I'm invested in and which ones I'm not, and Alex is not one of them I'm invested in, all right? So that way, so you guys can know which ones I'm in and which ones I'm not. so we can be transparent with one another, right? So this one's looking pretty good. We do see that right now it is looking for this area of support right now, currently at the daily. So far it has been holding this range of around 1.8 million to 2 million. As long as we continue to hold this range, we will be pretty bullish. I do definitely want to see this range being held. I do not want to see it fall any lower than this. If it does fall, it will be quite bearish, but so far right now it looks like we are in a consolidation phase right now. Let's go ahead and head over to the smaller time frames. Looking at the 4 hourly, we do see that we are coming out of a head and shoulders pattern. Typically a head and shoulders pattern is one of the most bearish patterns that you can go ahead and take a look at, and coming out of it looks actually pretty bullish. The fact that we're already out, as you can see, this is the head and shoulders pattern right here. Typically we're followed with this head and shoulders, we do a fake out one more time, we get rejected, and then we consolidate, right? So right now it looks like the pattern is getting ready to finish. Typically we will see on a head and shoulders pattern either some sort of accumulation zone before it has a massive breakout, and then we see this kind of move where we will go ahead and make that shift, right? So we will go within these ranges. As soon as this head and shoulders pattern is over, typically what we go ahead and see in the market is we see a range like this consolidate for a while. We see a breakout. As long as we hold this area of support, that means that the downtrend is completely over, and now we are switching trends to an uptrend, right? So it is looking pretty bullish right now on Jones, on the daily, and on the 4 hourly right now. So I will definitely like to go ahead and see this range being broken, and it looks like we are getting close to breaking that downtrend, right? So as soon as we get that downtrend broken, that could be a confirmation of a sign to load up on your bags even deeper. If you do believe in Alex, this looks pretty good so far. Nothing to worry about. As I mentioned, if we do fall below this range of around as low, this thing could go as low as 1.3 million. If it does fall below that, it's going to be very, very bearish, right? And that would mean that we will see Alex come back down to around the 400,000 market cap. But if we do go ahead and break this range and hold this range pretty well, keep in mind we need to hold these numbers at around 3.11 million to 3.6 million. As long as we hold this range right here, that will be a confirmation that we are back in an uptrend and we are reversing, right? So it looks pretty good right there on Alex. Right now we are seeing about 399,000 of volume on the 24 hours. So we do see a little bit of volume slightly picking up, but we are still neutral where, you know, buyers and sellers are still there. We're a little bit more in the neutral levels, right? So we'll see where that comes in the next coming days, if it's going to go ahead and do a reversal or if it's going to go ahead and completely stay there, right? So when it comes to meme tokens, always remember to focus on narratives and focus on communities. That's how you're really able to predict where things are going to go, but also technical analysis does definitely help to go ahead and keep you informed of where the market is heading, right? So let's go ahead and look into DEX tools now, and let's go ahead and do some technical analysis on Andy on base. So let's go ahead and look at Andy, right? So looking at Andy right now, we are at a total market cap of about 14.20 million. We have over 20,000 holders. So last time we talked about, I believe when I made a video, we were at around 12 or 13,000 holders, right? So we want to always focus on, when it comes to meme tokens, is you want to always focus on the holder count, right? Is there more active holders coming into the market? So we have increased a lot, so that's a very, very bullish sign. So that's really, really good. The 24-hour volumes at a 552,000, which isn't too bad. And let's go ahead and look into the charts. We do see we are hot trending number 9 right now on DEX tools, which is a good sign. And I do want to go ahead and point out that on my charts, the purple is supposed to be a red. I just changed the colors, right? So the green is green, means it's going up, and the purple means it's coming down, right? So let's go ahead and look into some technical analysis on Andy right here real quick. Looking at Andy on the 4 hourly, it does look like we are trying to break out of this downtrend. One thing that I did talk about is this major cup and handle pattern, which we'll always follow. This is usually bullish, but we are followed with a rejection. Usually this is where the reversal should have happened, and this is where we got a fake out, right? So they literally just faked everybody out of the market to go ahead and hold on to their positions, and it kind of worked. We saw a massive retracement from these levels right here getting rejected all the way down with a 52% dump, right? So it looks like the market right now has found its bottom on the 4 hourly. So far is looking good. I put these lines right here to go ahead and make sure to know if we are ending this this downtrend, right? We need to see this downtrend reverse to bullish now. Currently, right now, as soon as we go ahead and break out of this zone right here, we should be into a bullish trend. But looking at the 4-hourly, I am seeing a lot of bullish signs. We are seeing a lot of momentum coming back in right here, as you can see on the volume. We are picking up on volume, so there's actually more buying pressure right now than selling pressure, right? So that usually indicates that we will be seeing this kind of momentum over here, where we start seeing a lot of this massive buying pressure and we start seeing these massive breakouts, right? So I do believe we could be getting that 20x on Andy coming very soon. In the next coming weeks, we should be seeing a massive pump on Andy, right? So let's go ahead and change these colors real quick because I feel like they're a little hard to see. We'll do red. Yeah, we'll do red. It's a lot brighter. There you go. So right now what I'm looking at is I'm looking at this range right here for Andy. This is the zone where I'm looking for Andy to break out to. So if we could break out this zone right here, let me go ahead and change colors. If we could go ahead and break out of this little white box right here, we should be seeing Andy with the reversal to the upside now. If we do go ahead and get rejected on this box, we could expect Andy to continue to dump, right? So let's go ahead and be very careful. Hopefully this is the end of this downtrend and we have come to a reversal. But if we do go ahead and get rejected at this box right here, or can't get out of this box, we should be seeing Andy fall back down below, losing this area of support, which I hope not. That means we'll go back to that $3 million range and down below even lower, right? So I mean 7 million, this is about 7 million market cap, and then surpassing that all the way down, I think this is 3 million. So we definitely do not want to see this range. Obviously, you know, long term it's doesn't really matter. Short term it is quite bearish if you're trying to swing trade this, but this is the reason why I've been suggesting a lot of you that the best thing that you could do right now with a lot of these meme tokens, especially the ones in base, is just dollar cost average. You know, if you're trying to swing trade this, you are going to get hit. Usually, typically meme tokens are very volatile. They're more volatile than most, and they're unpredictable than most tokens, right? Bitcoin, we at least have data to back. With these meme tokens that come out brand new, it's very difficult to go ahead and do analysis 100% of the time, right? So just keep in mind that with this analysis, it could change very quickly, and that's just because of the volatility, the sentiment, and maybe the dev said something that people got mad at and they got a little pissed off at, right? So we have to always keep those narratives in mind. I am also seeing a major head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hourly, so it looks like we are printing that, and typically what we will see is see that little box right here get hit with a rejection. So worst comes to worst, we just see Andy within the consolidation phase for a few weeks before we see another breakout to the upside. So this is the worst case scenario. We see Andy get rejected, we come down within the zone, and then eventually we have that major run up where we fake everybody out into selling their bags, they panic, the whales load up, and then we just have a massive blast off where we will see probably over a 30 to 40x out of nowhere, right? So this is something we could be coming towards, so just be very careful. Don't panic. If you do believe in the project, you know, just dollar cost average, continue to hold your bag. But if you no longer are bullish in the project, then yes, that could be a time to be exiting out of your position. Looking at the daily right now, so far we are seeing that selling pressure right there, but we have now printed a doji candle, which is typically a sign of a reversal, right? That means that the bottom is coming, or the top is already coming, right? So we're going to go ahead and see the next coming days if this is going to go ahead and come straight down, or if this is going to go ahead and print a massive reversal, similar to like what we had right here, right, where we see a candlestick and just break out to the upside. So we're going to go ahead and see where Andy comes in the next coming days. You know, we should get some information by no longer than by the end of the week, right? So right now is Tuesday, so by Thursday no longer than Friday, we should be seeing and getting a better understanding of where Andy's going, right? Typically we'll get information a lot sooner than that, but I'll just give it a few days just to see where Andy's coming. So don't be surprised if we do go ahead and see Andy dump. Just keep in mind it could be a possibility. Right now we are seeing a little bit more buying pressure though. which is a good sign. But as I mentioned, that could change out of nowhere, right? So we're going to go ahead and see where things go. In my opinion, as I mentioned, I do think this is a cup and handle pattern and the bottom is in. But as I mentioned, we'll see where things go, right? Yeah, of course, Zab Master. Thank you, bro. So that's what we're seeing right now on Andy. Andy's looking pretty bullish. Another token that's doing pretty well right now that I kind of wish I would have held on to my position was GameStop. GameStop has now broken out of this, I guess, accumulation zone. As we mentioned, we usually typically have these fake outs where they reverse, they dump, they kind of shake out everybody else, and then they massively pump to the upside, right? So technical analysis is very, very predictable. Like once you spend a lot of time in the market, you can kind of understand where things are going, right? So that's why for me, I sometimes don't panic and I know when to enter positions or exit them because of the way the market's looking, right? So like right now, this is typically what we see in the market. We always go ahead and see this where it seems like the bottom has been in. They go ahead and pump it, they dump it, people get scared, they pump it one more time, it's accumulating. It's literally consolidating, do one other pump, they dump it, people freak out, and then they accumulate before a massive breakout to the upside, right? So these are very similar patterns that happen time and time and time and over again. And I do see GameStop probably approaching over 2 million plus market cap. Unfortunately, I did exit out of my position. I was waiting for that confirmation. I did get it, but honestly, I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I probably missed out that trade, and I'm just going to go ahead and stay in the sideline for now. But GameStop is looking pretty good. Over 3.42 thousand holders, 153,000 in liquidity, 1 million market cap. I actually got in GameStop right here at this bottom, like under 100K. So I wish I would have held on to my position or at least sold the top of this market right here because I would have been up very nicely and I could have thrown those profits in Andy. But I did exit my position around right here. At about break even, I threw in about like 30 bucks right here, and then I threw in like 100 bucks. And then this was like $500 at its top, and then I pulled out right here at about, you just say break even, right? I didn't really lose anything, right? And I jumped in right here. So I put in 130 bucks. I pulled out 112. So I lost about like 20 something dollars. Broke even pretty much, and then I threw those profits into another project, which was Woof. I think I threw my profit. Oh no, I threw my profits into Andy, so it was well worth it. I threw in my profits at $113, 110 that I broke even on GameStop. I threw it into Andy. I wish I would have just pulled that at $500 and would have put those $500 in Andy at that bottom for Andy, but I went ahead and I recycled my money. I was like, you know what? Instead of losing my money, let me go ahead and throw it into something I believe. And I then entered Andy back at, again, I added more to my bag at around 7 million plus market cap. I'm like, dude, I can't miss out on this opportunity. So, yeah, that's what I would recommend to do if you are swing trading a lot of these positions. You just add to your longer term plays that you really do believe in. But I do think GameStop might be a narrative that will take off. Potentially, we should be on the lookout for anything AMC. If we do see an AMC on base, that will be the next narrative. So keep me updated if any of you find that narrative, right? So that's pretty much it with GameStop. Let's go ahead and see another project that I'm a little bit bullish on. I want to go ahead and see where things go. This is Bays Bowden. I did talk about that this did look a little manipulated, to be honest. You just see these massive pump and dumps. It's usually not a good sign, I'm gonna be honest, but it looks like we have now finally had a lot of people exit, right? Which could be, I guess, a good sign or a bad sign, but it looks like a reversal might be coming in the next coming hours, right? We should be seeing some sort of reversal. Maybe by tomorrow, we should see this thing tell us where this is actually heading. Is it gonna head even higher? Or is it going to go ahead and head even lower, right? So we should be seeing Bays Bowden where it's going to go. Contract is ending in 359D. As I mentioned to a lot of you, I did buy in the highs. I don't know if I bought in right here. I can't remember, but my investment is worth pretty much nothing right now. I think I threw in over a little bit over 100 something dollars. Luckily, I didn't throw in a lot of money, but I did dump. So that investment is worth nothing pretty much. And then I ended up taking some profits on Benny, and I threw in about $70, just a dollar cost average, into my position on Bays Bowden, due to the fact that the one in Solana did very good. And I do think that once those kind of special tokens start to take off again, that narrative, we should be seeing a reversal on base Bowden, right? Because this is like the one on base. So I'm kind of betting that this plays out pretty well. I only threw in about another additional $70. So at the most, my position overall, it's like $200 to $300. And I only threw in $70 more at this bottom because one, I'm not willing to risk anymore because this thing could practically go to zero. But two, that way my risk to reward is a lot higher, right? My risk, you could just call it, it's about $70 at this point. But my reward's a lot higher, right? I do believe that this thing could approach over 30x and we could be seeing a reversal, right? So you have to be looking at this range right here to keep it very simple. If we do see Bowden break out towards the zone right here, I'll definitely make a video and I'll keep you guys all updated, right? I'll definitely go ahead and confirm that on my Discord, or I will make a YouTube video confirming that this breakout might be happening. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wait for the breakout to happen because I don't want to make a video and then have people join and this thing collapses, right? I don't want to get people wrecked. So just keep in mind that when you are jumping into my Discord and seeing my calls, it is, you know, first, it's like most of you guys are going to have a higher risk, but you're going to have a higher reward, right? If the play turns out very well, you're going to make a lot of money. So that's what it comes out to a lot of these plays. Sometimes you just have to kind of bet on the narrative, or you have to like bet on yourself and like say, you know what, maybe this thing might go up, and that's where I'm at right now. It's, to me, it seems like some pretty bullish patterns that I'm seeing, but it's not convincing yet. So I want to keep that in mind. I do see an inverse head and shoulder. Sorry, I see a double bottom pattern right here, and I also see a cup and handle pattern with that rejection. So we're going to go ahead and see if the bottom comes in where we do see that breakout. So until we see this breakout right here happen, I will definitely make a video, but I wouldn't risk no more than like $100 right now on this trade, right? You could risk $300 if you want, but I would say no more than like $100. It's worth risking right now, because if it does hit a 30x, where I think it could and it will happen, possibly, even if it's in a couple months, this your $100 is going to be worth over $3,000, right? So risking $100 and make possibly anywhere between $2 to $3,000 to me is worth it, right? So that's why I only threw in another additional $70, just a dollar cost average into my position. And if it plays off pretty well for me, I should be making a couple grand off of a little bit of money, right? But if the trade doesn't go in my favor, I only lose, if you want to call it, no more than $300 in my total position, right? And that's the way you want to look into these positions. You never want to throw in and go all in into positions to make quick money, right? It could be rewarding and it could help you out in the long term or short term, but overall, all it takes for you is to make one big, massive bad trade or one mistake on trading, and you can lose all those profits, right? It's happened to me time and time and over again, where I make a nice 20, 30, 40x on a project, and then I throw in, you know, $500 plus, and then I get rug pulled, or I lose all the money. And then I do that with another few more tokens, and I'm already down 90% of my portfolio trying to chase the token back to back, right? So it's all about minimizing your profit. It's all about minimizing your risk, but maximizing your profits, right? So yeah, $3,000 is not life-changing money to a lot of you, but if you're only risking $100 to make $3,000, now you have about $3,000 of available capital to throw it into convictions that you actually believe in. You know, if you could go ahead and use that $3,000 for a mini vacation if you want. Maybe you could buy yourself a phone, maybe some shoes, a new computer, or you could just load up on your favorite tokens. Like, for example, if this trade was to pay off for me pretty well, you know, now I have $3,000 to throw into Benny or Andy, a project that I really believe in, right? Or a project where I could go to sleep comfortably and not worry about it. When a project where I look at it and it's down 37% and I'm not panicking, right? This is a buying the dip opportunity. Those are the kind of the projects you want to be invested in. The projects that when you see them in red, you're actually happy because you know the potential of the project, and you know that these are just opportunities to buy, right? So that is typically the kind of mindset that I like to approach. We're going to go ahead and talk about Benny right now as well. Looking right now at Benny, we did see the new all-time highs now being broken. People will panic when we start seeing this red, but you also have to keep in mind that Benny has literally been pumping over a 20x, right? So I actually loaded up on Benny down over here at the zone. My Discord members got to find that out first. So definitely go ahead and take advantage of the Discord down below in the description of this video, pre-recorded if you are watching this. So that's kind of the reason why a lot of these plays, I don't worry too much, because I was willing to take the risk early on, right? I took the risk early on for Benny at the zone right here. And with Andy, I got in, sub 9 to 12, even 7 million plus market cap. And so I'm not too worried when those projects do dump. And even if they were to dump even lower, I would just load up, right? So that's kind of the mindset that I have behind Benny. Or even Andy. This one is at 5 million plus market cap. You have to keep in mind the circulating supply is quite low, meaning the project could actually go up higher than most of these projects, right? So not because you're looking at these projects and you're very bullish on them and you think they're going to hit a percentage, always be aware of what the supply is and look at the liquidity, right? Because I know there's a lot of influencers right now in the space, talking about all this money they're making and how much money they're making, but it really comes down to the liquidity. Like if you were to make $300,000 in Benny, you wouldn't be able to pull out, man. There's only $349,000 in liquidity. So keep that in mind too, right? So you have to understand that a lot of these projects, even if you were to make a fat bag, 9 times out of 10, you might not be able to pull out if you're making more money than what they have in the liquidity, right? So if you were to make, let's say, $500,000 or $1 million on Benny right now, you wouldn't be able to cash that out, man. There's only 349 in liquidity. So also keep that in mind when it comes to these projects. That's why you want to minimize your risk and take profits on your way out if you want, or rotate your money. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just holding on to these positions and then rotating them if I see other opportunities. But with Benny right now, I do believe this is going to be a longer term play. This kind of reminds me of like Myro on Solana, and that's why I'm betting on Benny to be the next Myro, but on base, right? We do see that the holders have grown over 9,000 holders. I scooped up Benny under $1 million in market cap and below. It was actually quite scary at those levels right here. But it was worth the risk and the investment, right? Just keep in mind, it's not always going to go ahead and play off. But right now with Benny, what we're seeing looking at the charts, I would just suggest dollar cost average if you are looking to jump in, or if you were looking to jump in, you want to buy in red, right? So I do think Benny could go ahead and come back down to these zones right here. So do expect another additional drop potentially for Benny of anywhere between 40 to 50%, right? We could even see realistically another 70% drop from where we're at. So don't panic if you do one day wake up and you bought Benny right now and you see a drop 70%, right? Just keep it in mind that there's a possibility, a very high probability, that we will be seeing another additional 40 to 70% drop, right? So that could be your buying a dip opportunity if you were looking to go ahead and load up on Benny. Looking at the smaller time frames, we could go ahead and see that so far this area of support just got rejected, so we could be coming back down to the zone right here, and within that range, that would be another additional 30% drop. So we already dumped about 32%, so that's about a 60% drop total. And if we were to go ahead and mark the top from this bottom, that's about a 65% dump. So typically we should be seeing some sort of support within this range on Benny, but if not, as I mentioned, do expect another additional about 60 to 70% dump, right? So don't panic if you do see that. But Benny does need to cool off, right? It did pump a lot, like crazy. It broke past its all-time high. It did initially over a 7x. So do keep in mind that a lot of the people that were in this token early on took advantage of over a 19 to 20x. So a lot of them are just exiting, taking profits, and new investors are coming in. But one of the bullish things I could say is that holder count is growing, and as you see in the 24-hour volume, over 726,000 in volume, right? So I do see Benny going over towards, in my opinion, past 100 million plus market cap. Coinbase's director's dog, staking their own swap, bullish already. And talking about bullish, I did want to show you this right here that I've actually retweeted with Coinbase of them doing their smart wallets, right? So let's go ahead and watch this video real quick. And this is the reason why I'm very, very bullish on base tokens in general, right? You should also be understanding this perspective that base is going to continue to grow, and this is just the beginning, right? Whether you want to agree with me or not, That's up to you. You're going to go ahead and see the next coming months. And if you didn't jump into the base wagon or understood how to navigate on this new protocol, you're going to really regret it. And you're going to be like, damn, I should have listened to freaking John when he said I should learn how to use this. Because when new users come in, if you don't know how to use the platform, you're going to go ahead and miss out on a lot of money. And you're going to be our exit liquidity. So for anybody that's watching right now that's jumping early on into base, even layer 3 protocols such as Degen, Ton, if you're jumping into these very, very late, you're going to be the exit liquidity for us, right? Everybody that's invested into these projects, you're going to be our exit liquidity. And that's, you don't want that to happen, right? You want to be taking profits with us, making money with us. But if we do miss out on this, you're going to be our exit liquidity, right? We're going to be the ones cashing out thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, even potentially millions. I know a lot of you will be cashing out that kind of money when retail starts to pour in, right? So keep that in mind. You do not want to be our exit liquidity. So consider checking out base protocols in general, just base in general, and dabble into the meme tokens. I'm not going to tell you, specifically which ones. I just told you the ones I'm bullish in, Andy and Benny. And I would put in a couple $1,000s if I could on those. That's how bullish that I'm saying that I am with those protocols, right? With those projects, sorry. So it's up to you to decide, but watch this video with me. And this is the reason why I'm even more bullish on base, right? They're actually creating this smart wallet and they're implementing V1 in an hour. So that was posted back on the 22nd, which was actually, I think, today. And you're going to go ahead and see this integration that they're doing with Coinbase's smart wallet, and this is where a lot of retail will pour into DeFi, and that's where our exit liquidity will come into a lot of these positions that we learned early on before the masses, and we took the risk, and we're going to be rewarded when more money starts pouring in, right? So let's go ahead and watch this video together, and I'm going to go ahead and play it. I think it's really, really freaking cool for us to watch.
Show you something really cool that we did today, which is implement Coinbase Smart Wallet. It pretty much took us an hour to get to V1, which was extremely quick. So I want to show that off and what that flow looks like. So let's actually turn off these things and kind of optimize for wallet only. I'll turn off Solana and I'll turn on just Base for now. So let's turn that on, and I'll turn on testnets and connect only. And at that point, this is the dynamic module. Let's make it a cool dark color. And what we've done is really implement it in a way where as soon as you click Coinbase, it automatically detects whether you have a browser extension. And if you don't, it does this really cool thing, which is prompt the Coinbase Smart Wallet. So this is a smart wallet. It's global, which is really nice. So I prompted that. I'm going to click to create a wallet. I'll choose iCloud and I'll kind of use a Touch ID. And that is pretty much it. I have created a smart wallet. I can hit continue. I can approve the connection to the dynamic demo. And at that point, I'm connected. I'll switch back to the Sefolia network, given this is still in testnet. I can sign a message real quick. It's going to prompt that and approve with Touch ID. And it pretty much kind of just works, right? If I log out, I can connect back in. It's pretty seamless. And it's nice. Now, the really cool thing is that if you notice the last 4 digits, let's go to a second site. If I now connect here, I'm going to actually see the same wallet. So if I now approve, I can connect with the same global wallet. I can mint something, and it works across everything. So this implementation allowed me to create a global wallet that just works across the entire ecosystem, whether you have a dynamic wallet adapter or something else. And that's pretty nice. So that was the entire experience. It took us a day to pretty much get to this state. It's going to take a couple more days to get into production, but it's really nice. Want to show that off. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
So did you guys just see that? Do you see why I'm extremely bullish on base? We're seeing this integration come in very, very quickly, right? So Coinbase is here to dominate. Coinbase is going to surpass all these other freaking blockchains, man. I'm telling you, I think, in my opinion, it has a possibility of surpassing Solana. We're not that far away. If you go ahead and head over to DeFi Llama, and you go ahead and look at the chains. Let's see if we can go ahead and look at the chains. Let's see what comparing chains is. I've never actually clicked out what comparing chains is. So let's see if we can compare Solana and Base. Let's see what kind of information we get. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and do Solana, and we're gonna compare it with Base. See what information we get here. I think we're gonna be able to get all the DeFi info. Let's see if we can get any. What is this? I don't know what this is. Let's see, staking. Let's see. I don't think this is loading up. Okay, yeah. We'll just look at the chains in general. Okay, so if we go ahead and look at the chains, we talked about this, and I might sound like a broken record, but it's just to show you facts and information to go ahead and show you why I'm bullish on Base, right? And why you should consider being bullish on Base as well. And not just Base it's on its own. I do think a lot of these other, blockchains are going to take off, such as Avalanche. I'm not saying that these other blockchains are not going to be as successful, but in my opinion, I think where a lot of the freaking money will be made this bull run will be Base. Ethereum already made its money. Tron I never dabbled with, so I don't know how Tron is. Binance Smart Chain was last bull run. Solana, Solana is a love and hate relationship, man. I think Solana is going to continue to grow. It's going to be very, very successful. There's still going to be a lot of money to be made, but I think a lot of people already made a lot of money. Like, I think a lot of Solana already printed a lot of millionaires, and for that reason, I'm kind of bearish on Solana. I'm not saying that I'm bearish on on where it's going to go. I think Solana is going to be very, very successful. It's going to go past 600 plus, in my opinion. With Solana, it's going to go up there in the thousands in the future. I do believe Solana is going to be very, very successful, but as far as opportunities, I feel like those opportunities have been lost for Solana, for a lot of new users, right? So for a lot of people that feel like they missed out on Solana, like myself, I wish I would have jumped in Solana not only last year, but a lot sooner, like around November, and would have understood how to use a lot of these platforms and these protocols, because I probably would have made a lot more money like a lot of you have. I know a lot of people that made a lot of money on Solana have made thousands of dollars, and that was because they jumped into Solana a lot earlier than myself, right? So that's why I'm saying, and I'm really bullish on Base, and I'm getting to understand as much as Base, due to the fact that I do believe that Base will surpass Solana as far as total volume, total holders, total users. I do think Base is going to be the next blockchain. I do believe it will surpass Solana, in my opinion. It might even surpass Binance, man. It might. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible, but it could be a possibility, man. Binance has about 8 billion of total locked right now. Solana is at 5. It actually grew almost overnight. It's about to hit 6 billion. Arbitrum is at 3, and Base is actually at 1.682. So it's been a little bit stagnant. We're going to see if that growth is going to continue to grow. I do think once you start integrating those smart wallets, we should be seeing more money pour in. But keep in mind, a blockchain that has just really been pushed this year is getting a lot of growth this quick, right? Solana has been out for a while now. It's been out since last bull run. So it's obviously no other factor at that time that there was no other blockchain for Ethereum to really compete with, I guess, besides Binance. But I don't think Binance was looked as a cool blockchain this season. I think it's looked as like an old blockchain, and Solana was like the cool kid on the block, right? The new cool person to be around with was Solana, and I think Base is now coming in. He's like the Chad, man. It's like if you go to the gym and you see this, you see someone doing these crazy weights, and you're like, damn, bro, that's freaking crazy. But then you see this freaking IFBB pro, a freaking bodybuilder come in and just pushing more weights. That's what Base to me is. It's like that. It's like that underdog. You don't know who's coming in yet, right? So that's where the opportunities come in my opinion. As I said, this is solely my opinion. None of this is financial advice. You can do whatever you want with that information. But with that being said, go ahead and check out Blofin. $5,000 in sign-up bonuses, no KYC. Just like Bybit trade with, I wouldn't suggest trading leverage right now, even though I'm partnered with a trading platform, a leverage trading platform, but you could hold spot. but I wouldn't suggest trading leverage just yet. Wait for that confirmation. I will be looking myself to go ahead and long possibly Bitcoin. You know, I do think $85,000 is around the corner, and we'll see where things are coming in the next coming days. But with that being said, give me a follow at Altcoin John. Feel free to go ahead and reach out to me if you have any other questions or concerns. This channel is going to be solely dedicated into a lot of DeFi, so I'm open to any other projects you guys have in mind. I'm here to learn, and I'm here to become a better trader every day, right? So I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much.